So, welcome back to anyone watching. Do y'all remember Junko and Ashima? Yeah, me neither, but they were a character in this game. Okay, anyways, let's get started. We are doing the investigation of some dead body that we found. We were in Kyoko's room with Byakuya. She wears those gloves to cover up a bunch of scars. And the tattoo. It's possible that was Kyoko. Specifically said they were scars, which means those fake nails on the corpse. What matters right now is uncovering Monokuma's trap. His trap?
Such ignorance.
There are 16 students.
That's right.
Mukuro is the one creating the rules to the game. You want to make things clear so there wouldn't be complaints later. That's why, because Mukuro is connected.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah, perhaps. If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the school killing game. But my question is, why wasn't she at any of the other class trials? That's exactly what I thought when the investigation first began. But I've changed my mind. Mukuro Yukasawa isn't the culprit. It's you, Makoto. Why would they go out of their way to reveal themselves to us?
So, in other words...
That's the trap. I believe our work here is finished. Let's move on. See if the key and the dojo are connected. So we go to the dojo and... Hurry up and check the locker. Okay, was it 6?
I see.
You see the locker farthest to the right?
Very strange.
The only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. Interesting.
That's right.
Well, just try it. Click. Voila. It's another dead body. They're arrows. Arrows made of titanium. Dang. Okay. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks. Strong sticks. There's also a wadded up ball of duct tape. Is that a blood stain?
See.
Must surely be related to the case. But how is that involved? So something with duct tape, something with titanium arrows. Interesting.
Very
Something wrong?
strange.
Very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps the culprit's room. I don't know. Forget it. We need to continue on to the next location. Still need to do more research on Fenrir. Could that be in the archives? To do research in the archives. Yeah, exactly. All kinds of info the general public doesn't have access
Let's
to.
go.
Let's hurry. I believe there is a file related to Fenrir somewhere over here. He knew the archive like the back of his hand. Here we go.
I see.
Take a look at this. Oh, what language is this? How'd you make it all to high school without learning a single word of French? I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, I think most high schoolers could recognize French if they saw it, even if they can't understand what it means. But, okay, repay your debt 100 times over. Isn't that kind of extreme? Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they are a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Just like Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok, their mere presence is enough to strike fear into any enemy. They've been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports of key members of the group were all neutralized. Rumors indicate they were killed to keep them from revealing the many state secrets they acquired. Some, however, believe there was mounting internal tension within the group and they simply imploded.
What?
So it's just a giant mystery. Well, this is our reality, the only reality. These people are part of our world. Battlefields aren't much different from our lives here. Unpredictable, unimaginable world. That's what makes it all so exciting. This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. There's something about where the name Fenrir comes from. The Wolf of Ragnarok. Would you like to know something interesting related to that? To show they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body, like the back of their hand. So it's possible that Mukuro is part of that. In which case, that would be the dead body of Mukuro? I don't know.
Time is utterly silent, and yet it constantly assaults us, organisms, the Earth, natural phenomena. It damages us little by little until the end. You should really think about that. Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial.
Anyways.
So, please meet up in the usual spot. See you later.
And the time has come. All you can do now is try and uncover the truth during the class trial. Okay. It's gonna have me save right before the class trial anyway, right? I think. Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. It's like they were together in the investigation or something. He just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ring tie enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What, are you jealous?
Hey.
You're already making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself.
What?
Alright. Any second now. I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. Stood there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen. 5 became 10.
Why?
Maybe it's because we still need Kyoko to show up. If that was really Mukuro's dead body, then Kyoko would be our prime suspect. And Kyoko's not here.
Could it be?
Maybe he died again. No, I don't think so. Or what? Did I scare you?
Come on.
Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that?
What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait.
In other words...
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we?
Well, technically, if somebody were to not show up, would Monokuma just kill them? Like they killed Junko, or... I don't know. We haven't really had that happen yet, but... Everyone is here, except Kyoko. Sorry, but you're right. So it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation. So yeah, then they will punish them with death if they don't come up. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here.
Hey.
Yep. I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Yoko, you're still alive? No, that's a ghost. Stop talking.
You wanna fight? Do it at the class trial.
Y'all need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong?
You're so selfish. So spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially. But I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you.
Yoko.
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Can't wait for Kyoko to pull out all this new evidence we didn't know about before.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator, but I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before I get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you?
Correct.
So, the second floor of the dorms.
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that. I had no idea a body had been discovered. Huh.
So...
Just now, finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. Can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I?
However...
Sorry I kept you all waiting. So the key goes to something on the second floor of the
Wrong.
doors? Not quite.
In other words...
I use Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. Oh. Well then.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up!
Makoto.
We can go over all the details before we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation. Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me.
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Switch shut, and we went down, just the six of us. The dread began to consume me once again. Nobody said a word. And then they opened without warning. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait! I can't
The
wait!
courtroom looks different now.
The time for pointless jokes and jabs is past.
Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show.
Deadly judgment, a deadly deception, deadly betrayal, deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly face, a deadly class trial. Yeah, so we do get to save. So, yeah, what are the truths called? There's the file. They were dead before the blast. Stabbed a single time with a knife, which went through the body. Struck with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. But those titanium arrows were thin, right? Or would thick as a metal pipe mean the titanium arrows? Covers other wounds, but those are at least several days old, perhaps from scars or other things, I don't know. Probably unrelated to the case. Upper half of the body is burnt beyond recognition. Upper half was soaking wet because of the bucket of water that I poured on them. The bottom half is dry. They had fake nails on some of their fingers, it looks like. They had a tattoo for Fenrir or whatever. Fragments near the dead body. And the bomb, which had been removed from Monokuma, disappeared. So that was likely what caused the explosion, was the motion sensor from that bomb. Sprinklers come on at 7:30. If the body had been there before 7:30, it would have gotten wet, but the bottom half was dry. So, at 7:30, Makoto and Aoi are at the dining hall. And then goes to the gym. At 9 a.m., Toko discovers the body, so it's likely in that 1.5 hour gap. There's a knife at the crime scene, which originally Makoto was holding onto, but then it was taken from his room during the night. Probably, I think. And the cart was hidden among the other items. One side is wet and filthy, the other is clean and dry. One of the chickens is gone. Byakuya, there's no corpse in nighttime. And the four of them were in the gym together. White jacket covering the body. The body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. There is no blood on the ground around it. Figuro's profile, military, Fenrir stuff. Killing game began with 16 students, and Kyoko wears gloves to hide scars or something. Woodblock keys to the locker in the dojo with titanium arrows. Okay. Do I have any new? I have extraordinary focus. Increases the focus gauge by 2. Okay. Okay, that's the only new thing that I have, so let's finish. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Yeah,
If you
we
can
already
figure
know
out,
this.
then I'll... Okay.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
No, Kyoko's right there.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
That's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
As we all know, ghosts never have legs.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
The traits. One important thing Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her.
I got it!
Gloves.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And
Monokuma.
you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently, you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Maybe, but you could still recognize the hand, even though the explosion made the top part of their body indistinguishable.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here because Yasuhiro's stubborn. What do we have? We have tattoo on the right hand, exploded body analysis, and fake nails. Okay.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I agree. Okay, so
That Kyoko there is just
Yeah.
a ghost.
Okay, then prove the dead body.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
we want to
Well,
probably.
yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely...
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko. Okay, then prove the dead body.
They got burnt up in...
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been
Wait.
wearing gloves.
Oh,
Because that corpse is absolutely...
I have
This
to.
entire discussion is idiotic.
I have to get rid of the lines and then shoot the. Okay.
Kyoko. Okay, then prove the dead body.
I think.
Then she was wearing gloves
I think this is what I need to
Well,
do.
yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope. No. Okay then.
Shoot!
Shoot. Ah! I'm smart.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
So tattoo on the right hand. And
Okay,
fake
then
nails.
prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing.
Wasn't
They
wearing
got burnt
gloves.
up in the
Then she was
Wasn't wearing
Yeah,
gloves.
she must have, because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That
trying to think, is
Kyoko
there,
there
like-
is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not
I
a
think
ghost.
may-
The dead
maybe.
body was.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope, that's not right either. Great.
Shoot!
Okay.
Kyoko there is just a
I wasn't trying to.
ghost. Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a
The
ghost.
Do I
dead
have
body
to-
wasn't wearing
Wasn't wearing
gloves.
gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Wasn't wearing
She was wearing
gloves.
gloves?
Well, yeah, she
Must-
must have been wearing, because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Do I have to?
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves, because that corpse
Oh,
is
frick.
absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Think.
Okay,
I don't
then
know.
prove it. The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope. Great.
Shoot!
I'm super smart.
That Kyoko there is just
It's
a
not
ghost.
the fake nails, is it?
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
Oh,
This
the
entire
fake nails
discussion is
would have.
idiotic.
Ah, okay. I was not thinking of the right stuff. I was thinking
Okay, then
other
prove the
things.
They
Okay.
got burnt up. Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
I'm
Yeah, she must have been wearing
smart.
gloves.
No, it's wrong.
Okay.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves.
Hey,
Whoever it was,
I'm
they were
smart.
wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Exactly.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
It's Mukuro. Sprinklers, explode body analysis, tattoo on the right hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And
Yes.
there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Yes.
Well, if we can't identify the
I
body,
think we
Then there's
can.
nothing else we can do, right?
No, we probably can. With the tattoo.
If Kyoko really, then who died?
there's gotta be. I don't think so.
The face,
And there wasn't any description in the. Well, if we can't identify the body,
Oh, but
Then there's nothing
What?
else we can do, right?
that hit the white noise line. Ah,
If
shit.
Kyoko really,
then who died?
there's gotta be. I don't think so. And there wasn't any description. Well, if we can't identify the body,
then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Great. Oh boy. I'm so good at this game, guys.
there's gotta be. I don't think so. And there wasn't any description. Well, if we can't identify.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
For serious?
You're lying. You'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Oh, an unusual death. This I gotta see.
We'll all die if we get the culprit wrong.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Okay.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If we compare it to other information we have, like,
I got it!
this.
Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is the wolf Ragnarok thingy. Wolf. Yep, it's wolf. F, give me an F, give me an F, give me an F, give me an F. Ah, give me, there we go.
Now I understand.
Yep.
representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Whoa, really?
The Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology.
Norse
A
mythology.
huge world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki and a female giant.
Loki had a child?
After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-stars.
I don't remember that from the Avengers.
Tattoo.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
But what about the ultimate mastermind?
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
Yeah, described her as like the ultimate soldier sort of
All it
thing.
said was that she was
Yeah.
the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now.
Yeah.
Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine.
Okay.
Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial
because of
is
the murder.
because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big old brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Yeah.
Wait, no. There's a chance that there's
No.
some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along.
There are 16
Nope.
stands.
There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of
Yeah.
us killed Mukuro?
Yeah.
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
It is one of 6 people, but probably like one of 2 people if the 4 of them were in the gym the whole night.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Coco and Genocide Jack.
I got it!
Yeah.
You've narrowed it down to
Kyoko
Kyoko
and me.
and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there.
Also, the body wasn't wet from the sprinklers at 7:30.
So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Objection!
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the
When
body.
we found the body at 9 a.m., which is still 11 hours, which is not a very... It's not very specific.
Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The
9
one who
a.m.
saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
It was at 9.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9
That's
a.m.
still 11
since
hours.
that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was
It was around
around...
7:30.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
But what if they were murdered from 7:30 to 9? And it's the sprinklers. Want to make sure.
We've established...
Just want to make sure that the sprinklers mentions. Yeah, if the body had gotten in before 7:30, it would have gotten wet.
It took place somewhere
No.
between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Corpse is almost totally dry.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning. Yep. And Makoto doesn't...
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now
Yeah.
would be the... We've established a time. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep. And Makoto...
Yeah, until 7:30.
That's more than
Nope.
enough time to commit murder, I should think.
So Makoto,
I need
if you
to
have
stop
any objections,
going
now would be...
forward so fast.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an...
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Wait, what?
Shoot!
Is that wrong?
We've established a time frame for the murder.
Wait, so fragments near the dead body. The bomb which had been removed from Monokuma. That's also a thing, because we saw the bomb together after 7:30. So that might also be part of it. And what was the other one? It was the exploded body analysis. And the bottom half remains dry.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't...
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the...
So maybe it's Byaku's statement.
We've established a time frame.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night...
No?
Shoot! We've
Wow.
established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock and...
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have
An alibi.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
So
Makoto,
if you have any objections, now would be the time.
There's something that happens in the... Yeah. Wait, do I do sprinklers
We've
on
established a
the...
time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock...
Okay, that's...
No, that's wrong.
That's a little weird, but okay. Sure.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet.
That was
in fact.
because I spilled a bucket of water on it after the explosion.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler?
Man, you're totally wacko.
Not
You
trying-
really think it wasn't the sprinkler? You'd better tell us why!
Yeah, I'm going to. With certain evidence. Loaded body analysis or something.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! How can you say...
This should prove it.
Yeah. Bullet time battles are kind of whack.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
Because I spilled a bucket of water.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning.
Exactly.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Which means that Mukuro's killer is Kyoko?
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time. Stop wasting energy. You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss. Shutting up now.
Shutting up now.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right,
I don't
Kyoko?
know.
But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then,
Well,
I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's
I
gotta
don't
be the
know.
culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take was covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
certain something like tarp thingy.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Maybe I was the killer, though. I don't know.
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be?
Repeat what Kyoko said. Body before the explosion had wet blood.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Blood on the body hadn't dried yet.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
Only
But
dirty
the
on one
underside of the
side.
tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
So I'm thinking.
By covering the killer prevents.
So the reason that is because the spring, but the underside, it was totally.
It's because that side was protected from the water.
No. Wait, did I do the wrong statement?
Shoot!
I
Covering the
totally
body with
did.
the tarp.
I'm such a
The spring, but the
fool.
underside, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Nope, that's not it either. Okay, that's just great.
Shoot!
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the
Was
body,
protected from the
of
water.
course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body, killer prevents.
So the reason that was the spring, but the
Do I
underside, it was
have
totally.
to...
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Nope.
Shoot!
That's just great.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on
Only
one
dirty on
side
one
is
side.
because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body with the tarp,
The
Do I
killer
have
prevents.
So
to...
the reason that was the spring, but the underside, it was totally.
It's because that side was, since it was facing down toward, of course it didn't get dirty.
Okay,
No,
yeah, there we
it's
go. Ah, jeez, I am taking a lot more damage than I should be.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they
The
used it.
bottom side was dry.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Thus, washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
more than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage? What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
Because there are blood packets in the nurse's office.
Someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
Oh,
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
from the chicken?
I got it!
Yeah, okay.
Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
It was backwards, wasn't it?
I think so.
It was backwards, yeah.
No. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
You see, Toko went to the garden after the sprinklers went off.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no, I headed off to the gym and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
But still, maybe Kyoko did it. I don't know. Disguised dead body has been added to the truth bullets section of the
Well
handbook.
then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Yeah, like in my room. Oh, I'm being
That's
framed
what I thought when I
again.
first saw it. I just remembered.
What are we gonna do with this knife?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure of what actually happened.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
And Makoto looking kinda
The knife we
sus
found
right
stuck
now.
in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
This guy's dead body. Boy's body analysis fragments near the dead body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no
Getting
question.
stabbed.
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
That's not the only. There's the fragment.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
This guy's dead
It's the
body.
same one we gave to
Guy's
Makoto.
dead body, exploded body analysis. Oh, so it is the, this. Okay. That or this. But it's the bomb.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic. Well,
Getting stabbed is what
stabbed.
killed her. So there's no question. You took that knife of yours.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto. The knife we found, it's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Nope. I'm so bad at this game.
Shoot.
The knife we found lodged in the dead.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was.
If he did have that seals it. Look, just because I had the knife that automatic. Well,
Getting stabbed is.
so there's no you took that knife.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
This. Let's see. But it's just the thing about it. Like, I feel like it has to be this, right? Charged debris and a bomb not removed, right? That.
The knife we found, it's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic. Well, getting so there's no you took that knife.
What a
Yeah.
horrible man you are, Makoto. The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Yeah.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because that automatically made...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man
Nope.
you are, Makoto.
Coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
There we go. Okay.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine.
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once
No.
to kill her and once to cover it up.
No. Is it? No?
Shoot!
Dang it. I'm so dumb. I'm gonna fail. Single time. There we go.
I got it!
I'm
The
so
Monokuma
stupid.
file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
No.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
It's emotion
Go ahead,
sensitive.
Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh, then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
I need to concentrate. Yeah, Monokuma file.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her
On the
head.
back of her head? Struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was...
And it wasn't me.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
No.
body.
Dang it.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal injury.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah. She was...
And it wasn't me because then there's only one.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was
No.
hit on the back of her head.
I'm not sure what to do.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me because of the knife. And then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Nope, okay. That's what I think
Then
it
shall we
is.
continue? The victim's fatal injury has...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me because of the... And then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
Nope.
body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me because of the knife. And then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of the then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was
Hit on the back. And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be...
No, it's wrong.
There we go. I am going to fail this trial. Let's go.
Muguro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and then spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
I got it! Muguro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Muguro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
One more secret about the weapon. Now take the wood block and the arrows.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master. You have no right!
Perhaps what they did, they bound up the arrows so that all 10 were together.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Back
to Master. You have no right!
Okay.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker. I have no doubt that was the
Are
murder.
you sure?
You don't sound
Well, It said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal. It seems like an arrow would just be too...
There we go.
No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Another 9 weapons.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak. You put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Were you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
You asked.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Yep. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know. Those words you just...
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you are the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you are the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you are the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you are the culprit.
Yeah.
No, if I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Try and save me, go close to death, that's fine. What should I do? No one knows why. Whether or not so why.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Yep.
I don't have the key to my room because I've given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, it's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into a room.
I hear.
You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Yeah, that's part of our TV, so... Yeah, exactly. Mine seems cool. No, any thought on.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school. Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really are the killer?
Okay, time's up! I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
That's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
It was... Junko. Good job, got it. Really exciting. Kyoko really is the killer, but something strange is going on here. Kyoko.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Kyoko had it down. Fight like that, and we'll have that fight going on. So that. Or maybe, if he's at there, less. I might give you giant world. That's how the last row review stuff. So I don't wonder whether Kyoko actually exists. Regardless, the truth you talk on forever. In the end, the proof we are not that. There's never a sense of murder together again. We have obtained peace in exchange for the life of all the others. So it's like bad enemies or something. Peace, but only inside the school. Baby Makoto. And we have baby Yasuhiro and baby Byakuya. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Yeah, so it's gonna have me go back and get the good ending.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
For claim? Oh, that's right. Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? So then I let it go, because if I pursue the lie, then there's no murders ever again. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
It could have been Byakuya.
What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto.
Makoto or Byakuya. One of the two.
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Lucaro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up.
Whoa.
Huh?
You're gonna vote for me?
Time's up. Class trial's all over. Everyone can stop talking now.
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Voting time?
And they're gonna vote for me. A, B, A. Nice. Nice.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Yep. Well, this is fun. You think I'm the killer?
Sorry.
You got it all wrong.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone.
Yep.
They got it right. This whole trial doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
Just like all the other class trials. Yep.
Thrills, chills, kills!
That's fun. Yoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Well, this is fun. Oh, is it gonna be the same? It's the same punishment, isn't it? Oh. The hero. Oh, frick. Wow. Huh? What's this? What's going on? It had to be Alter Ego. Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network.
It would seem...
He finally made a miscalculation. No, he miscalculated from the very beginning.
In other words...
Shouldn't have underestimated us. I barely felt the thing. Stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit, in a way that's an even better special punishment. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. What's the meaning of all this?
Calm down.
We're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings. So this is from the beginning of the game. You have to be attending high school and be the very best at what you do. There's me. What? Where am I? wasn't any classroom I'd been to before. Yeah. Finally. I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. The stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. Trash was piled high all across the area. Must be some kind of underground garbage pit. I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. Alter ego saved me. Can't give up now. Start looking for a way out of here. What's this Monokuma scene? Rocket in a tank. There's other stuff to look at. Airplane. A desk. Probably the one that fell down here with me. Okay. It's locked. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, look around for food. There's plenty of food, but it's all rotten. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones I can't? Feeling pointless and blocked in on all sides. But I'm still alive. Go to sleep. It's deep and uninterrupted. I think at least a full day had to have passed. It was like waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. But it wasn't a sign. It was garbage. Formed an odd shape. Something fell from up above.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Kyoko got down
Smells awful.
What is that? Cup Gokudi or Gokub. I don't know.
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected.
So...
I'm here to help you. We've got a bit of garbage in your hair.
Hey.
I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. So I snatched the bread and water. Wow, that really hit the spot. You still haven't given up then? Of course not. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Okay, so... why'd you come to rescue me? Pay a debt, or to atone.
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything.
Indeed.
Even though I knew I did nothing to help you, I abandoned you. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
Not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason I had to survive no matter what.
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. I made up my mind to come to Hope Speak Academy for one very important reason.
Indeed.
At least I did once. Until recently, I had forgotten what it was. No memory of what my purpose was.
Makoto.
Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
And when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
At that point, my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. Couldn't remember why I'd come to the school or what my ultimate ability was.
Hey,
Hard to imagine it happened by chance. Seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because it was the work of the mastermind? They stole my memory. There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans.
however,
It could also mean my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. So I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. Well, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
It's just a possibility.
However,
There was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Just like the dream.
listen.
Oh yeah, it's just nothing.
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you. It's just, I'm not used to relying on
Correct.
others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. You had a reason for doing all of that on your own? How did that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
so...
Still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was able to recall my purpose and my ability. What everyone should have known me for. The ultimate detective, which makes sense.
Correct.
There was someone I had to find here at the school.
So...
It was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. He's my father.
In other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. When Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved, I'll find a way. No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what?
So,
Yoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. Makes perfect sense, because my whole purpose for coming here was to find him.
However,
I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room.
so...
The room had been ransacked. Shelves were a mess. Desk drawers dumped on the floor. Only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there.
It's true.
That was my assumption. And I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. I also found the headmaster's room, some kind of map, along with Mukuro's profile and the key. The second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. The headmaster would have had some kind of private room there. If that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
That's when I finally remembered. Our purpose was to find the owner of that room.
However,
But the second floor didn't have cameras or monitors. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined.
so
You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. And we get into here? Or, no, we have to talk to Kyoko. Okay.
however,
That's why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building.
however,
And just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. Everyone but you and me had an alibi, so who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. The point of the class trial was to get me killed.
indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly because of the school regulations.
That's right.
Minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
Mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they had to use the class trial to do it. Mastermind themselves are somehow bound by the school regulations. Maybe it's one of the students, I don't know.
hey,
One other thing. There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you.
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? During the night, I can hear them, you know? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. Looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
Ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means they can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. But doesn't that create another contradiction? Wanted to try to kill you because they couldn't interfere.
Correct.
And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction.
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
A little more. And I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person.
Indeed.
It seems to implicate whoever caused that event.
That's right.
What happened a year ago? Tragedy.
It would seem
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that forced us to go through this. And that is our real enemy. Well, I guess chapter 5 is done. Sixty. The Dream Island rocket present. let's save the game here. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. That's the Mastermind's true identity.
Anyway,
We have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest can come after. Can't Kyoko open it? You still have the key?
indeed.
Of course I do. I would never part with it.
That's right.
And we should be able to use it on that door.
It's true.
Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
Now we can get out of here. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. The real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate Pain, Suffering, Despair, Execution, and Death. A tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. I had no idea we were so far down. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? How long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So,
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Is your family famous?
wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right?
Right.
Because we take pride in it.
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separate from the rest of society. We've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence.
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride.
However,
In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had no desire to reconnect with my father.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father
However,
about. There's something I want to say to him, though. No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him.
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Last time I saw him, I was still very young. Apparently, he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He had a promising
However,
future, but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. My mother died and he ran away. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. Every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I couldn't see how she was feeling. All I could tell was she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position would say, right? But it's not true.
However,
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
so
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
however,
But they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. The shadow's been following me my entire life, and I'm sick of it.
correct.
It's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family, in order to settle the past. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more.
Hey,
Is blood really enough to call someone family? And then we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it. On the other side of the store, Hope's Peak is waiting for us.
that's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Here goes nothing. The hatch opened with ease. Looks like we're back. Can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. So now what? I'm worried about you too.
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah.
So then,
Now let's get a concrete answer.
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping.
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. So you're saying rather than stressing out, we should give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't.
because,
The Mastermind is the one that's ensnared.
so,
They stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the Mastermind let their guard down.
right.
And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down.
Indeed.
Monokuma should be
Shall
in the
we
gym. Let's get going. Okay then. So then we go to the gym.
Well,
Hey. Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You're supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you? So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule.
making me angry.
So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance.
Right.
You can do whatever you feel you have to.
However,
Let me just say one thing. If you execute Mikoto, that means you lose. Not that it matters to you, right?
Huh?
I do?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because
You set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. You never imagined that in that position one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response, you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
Then there was another unexpected development. An entity that would throw a wrench in your precious execution machine. All three go.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
Executing Makoto would surely be a violation of the rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
Well,
To make such bold claims without a shred of
that
evidence.
doesn't matter.
But with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
There's only ever one absolute truth.
Because
Makoto was the killer. He never would have come to you willingly like this.
however,
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed,
It's not you I'm trying to convince. If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed,
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
listen to me.
Bear can never kill Hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. If you kill Makoto without proving your innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and
That's what we
square,
have to
then I
do.
suggest you take my advice.
it's true.
Do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
True identity of the first killer. He'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed.
What's
Good.
wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. Time for bear jokes. Might suggest it might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things one way, that'll be enough to convince you and me, right? It would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown.
Barrett!
Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
You'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do
I
that,
barely contain myself!
that would be enough to qualify it as a victory.
it's true.
Let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair?
Hey,
I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class
What's
trial is
wrong?
held. For sure.
hey,
And it's a true statement. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Having a trial from Rikuro is no exception to that. It's a very polarizing approach. Okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. This killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step since the killing game began are those 16 students.
listen.
Now I'm really angry!
Get lost, would ya?
Hey!
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway.
Hey,
Just like that, we were out of the gym. Everything I have right now
However-
is the real battle is still ahead of us, though.
whew,
Still, I'm glad it worked out. Why would the Mastermind agree to that? They don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept.
because,
Is that one moment that the Mastermind let down their guard.
so,
You remember what the Mastermind said? They said they'd hijacked the airwaves to broadcast their school life to the outside world, right?
listen.
What did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right?
Indeed.
Hard to imagine. Noticing that kind of thing is extremely difficult. to follow.
However,
Yet they were able to
in
do
other
it.
words,
There must have been some reason they had to do something difficult.
so,
Needed to show the world something, no matter the cost.
it would seem,
They've been very adamant about forcing us to kill each other.
in other words,
But
correct.
why? To prove a point, most likely.
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right?
that's right.
For those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair. The Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
Something that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
That same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness.
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this game to the world. The Mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about the regulations. If they ignored the rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who were watching this would see.
indeed.
That's precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of the regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
They tried to use the class trial following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you, who also was not the killer. When that was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, Mastermind had to accept your suggestion. Prove to the world that despair is better than hope. They have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the Mastermind harm to show that they violated their regulations.
however, wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But I got it right. This time, at least. Seems totally confident from the moment we went to talk to him. Well, it's a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight that we have to win.
correct.
Or everything we've done will be for nothing. There's no option
Hey.
except to win. But I have to tell the others what's going on. Work together,
However,
is that really possible?
anyway,
Right now, we have to go.
shall we go?
Okay. Okay. So they should be all in the dorms. Byakuya.
Hey,
I don't think he's here. We need to keep looking. Junko. Shoko.
hey,
I don't think she's here. Come on, we need to keep looking. Celeste, Chihiro, Aoi.
hey,
What about Dashikiro?
hey,
Okay then, might they be in here? And we were greeted with this. Indeed. Fizzlebroof. You again. Explorer 103.2.1.255. Age 4 some percent KT 61.
however,
What was that all about? Ah,
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
no.
What?
What's
the
that
heck?
smell? He smells like a wet dog.
Makoto.
We need to explain to everyone what happened
Yes.
to Monokuma.
Hmm.
What if the mastermind
It's
catches
true.
you? That's related to what I have to tell you all. The last class trial.
In other words,
We're going to redo Mikuro's trial.
How about that?
Makoto killed her, right? No, like they keep telling
wrong.
you. Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you.
I see.
It was all the work of the mastermind.
Huh?
That's right.
It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he did to do, or what he had to stop it.
However,
But the decision meant he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
however,
Executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The mastermind broke their own rules.
Huh?
correct.
Very observant.
Naturally.
When you said now that it's the mastermind that's ensnared, that's what you were referring
Don't
to.
be mean!
You can ask Kyoko to explain it later.
About that.
About who killed Mikuro, right? Our job is to expose the mastermind. But there's more to it than that, correct? For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
But
Anyway,
Probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies.
Oh no!
I hate you.
Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth.
Interesting.
but
But figuring out who the mastermind is and how they killed Mikuro and all the school's mysteries. Pretty tall order, but we know who our enemy is now. I'm not so sure about that. I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. Why not? Working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Here's a hint. This killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. The only people to take a single step since the killing game began are those 16 students.
I see.
Huh?
So, in other words,
The Mastermind really is the one who killed Mikuro, as Kyoko says. The Mastermind would have had to step in. Monokuma probably could murder Mikuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
in other words,
There are 16 students. Mastermind has to be one of us.
that's right.
One of those 16 people we started out with. The only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now?
no way!
You can't be serious.
Indeed.
Mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And we can't ignore that possibility. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow.
Well, but
We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
In that case, there's no way you could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. It wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school.
Every room.
Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's
or
fine.
rooms. Now I need to begin.
in the name of my family.
I can rely only on myself. Each of you must uphold the responsibility.
Hey.
You're totally useless.
Indeed.
You know?
Just a second.
Wait, how
How
come?
about that?
I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure it out. Aren't they really gonna go off by themselves? Guess I'll do the same thing.
Because, I mean,
You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died. It's really nice of you to say.
okay.
At the end, maybe I'll figure something out to help us all get out. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. See you later. Just us two.
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're gonna do our research separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
so
That goes for all of us. Yeah.
so then,
I have an endless list of things I need
Correct.
to check. We should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school.
Makoto,
We have to uncover the truth by any means necessary. Okay. Proves that the mastermind isn't one of us, and solve the mystery of the school. Victim's identities unknown, dead before the blast. Start with the rooms that were locked. The second floor of the dorms should be open now as well. Places to check. Okay. Let's get started with the second floor of the dorms. Well, this is fun. More like a battlefield. Oh, dang. Oh, this is fun. Just a big pile of rubble. It's not really a bed, it's just garbage. Nice! Is that all? Okay. Well then. There was other stuff. Well then, there's nothing to look at here. But, alright, there's this. It has like a giraffe or something. Oh. Room is filled with lockers. Class before ours must have used these lockers. There's a metal plate mounted to these lockers. No way to get them open. Wonder if I can open this one. Nope, locked. There's a card reader. Let's give it a try. No luck. plate here. Nice. There's this locker. What about this one? Nope. Nice. Okay then, looks like all this stuff is not gonna be able to be opened, or what? There's a little eye there. This room definitely doesn't feel like a student's room.
Correct.
It's the headmaster's private room.
Indeed.
There's this computer. Must have belongs to the headmaster.
Would seem
Looks like they're very interested in the ultimate despair. Has some search results left on it that we might be able to get some info.
However,
Nothing we don't
in
already
other
know.
words,
Isn't one individual, but instead points to some kind of group. They're responsible for the tragedy, worst sorts of people.
however,
That's all there is.
whew, correct.
See, that's a good outlook for that. What else? Oh, it's just a bunch of stuff over there, isn't it? Strange gap in the wall.
So,
You can feel a breeze
Indeed.
coming out. There's likely an open space on the other side. You might know how to open it.
indeed.
Enter the right password and the door should open right up. Probably made up of letters and or numbers.
It's true.
I learned more about him than I had any desire to, but nothing that might have been his password.
Whew.
There's a hidden room she couldn't get into. That's what she meant by regret. Something Kyoko wouldn't have thought of, or something she didn't want to think of.
What?
What about your name? Just trying to think of what the password might be. You mind if I try it just to be sure?
Well,
Okay then.
hey,
If you're worried about me, don't be. I already know that your guess is wrong. Let me just type the password here. Deep Kern. Huh? That did it. It worked.
why?
There's a present here. Should we open it? We can't not open it.
Makoto,
Careful. Surprising, probably.
it seems
If it is what I think it is, It's not something you'll be happy to see.
Anyway,
Don't scream or anything, okay? Took a heavy breath and then held the lid. Hesitant glance inside. Don't scream. It's the skull. Those bones. Human bones. Who could have possibly imagined?
I see.
Just as I thought. There were bones in there, human bones. Had a feeling it would be his body. That's pretty much the same thing, a dead guy in a box. My father.
Correct.
What you found in the box. Those bones. That's my father. Or at least what's left of him.
So,
Headmaster is a man in his late 30s. Possible, even likely, that they're in the school right now. The only people to take a single step in Hope's are those 16 students. But the only ones who are alive at the start were 16 students.
in other words,
Most likely my father was in the school, but he was also dead. He was only trying to seem calm. Wanted to be proven wrong, which is why she never looked in the box herself. Gave up some of that pride. Had to reveal myself to the school. Really? Would she really give up her pride just for that? This picture. It's all faded, it must be pretty old. Kyoko as a baby girl or whatever. I came here to cut myself free of the past, and yet... What do you expect me to do now?
why?
I wanted to face him and tell him myself, to cut him out of my life for abandoning me. And now he's abandoned me again, and stole the only opportunity I had to move on. Has there ever been a worse father? Desk, it's probably hiding some kind of clue. But I don't want to touch Kyoko's dad's desk without her permission.
Hey,
Feel free to look around as much as you like.
because
I opened all the desk drawers and looked inside. In the last drawer, an e-handbook in case of emergency,
in other words,
with no limitations. Assuming that's what it is.
it would seem
I don't need it. If you don't want it, go ahead and leave it here.
Hey,
Can I ask you a favor? What is it?
so... Hey,
Could you leave?
correct.
I'd like to be alone for a bit.
Just a second.
You told me before about the relationship you had with your dad. How you're only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. But maybe that picture motivated him. Maybe he hopes to see me again someday. If so, it's just a theory. And this isn't an issue that can be settled in a series. The picture doesn't change the facts of what happened and what I went.
Anyway,
Once I've got myself under control, I'll return to the investigation immediately. The headmaster is dead. The same person may very well be the mastermind who planned all this out. But the headmaster wasn't the mastermind. The headmastermind. This killing game began with 16 participants. At 16. There's only 6 alive. Everyone else is dead. Even Mushiro. So the ones still left alive are me, Byakuya, Yasuhiro, Toko, Aoi, and Kyoko. That can't be. I refuse to believe it. There has to be some other way. Let's see. There's stuff here. A leather chair. Must have been the headmaster. Okay. Well then. Since I have the all-access card thing, maybe I can do something over here now. Alright, what's inside? This locker is totally disorganized. Crystal ball. All kinds of textbooks and notebooks stacked with no particular order. Yasuhiro Hagakure. Well then. He attended classes here? That can't be possible. That. Oh, there's something else to look at. Deck of playing cards? No, they're tarot cards. Aren't those used for telling fortunes? Okay then. What about this one? Nothing that could be a clue. Practically empty. Some kind of pocketbook. Some writing inside. Looks like a girl's handwriting. Letters are spaced out evenly. Really meticulous. Words I've heard before. There's a plan to turn Hope's Peak into a shelter and isolate the students here in a communal life. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. It just so happens to be the headmaster and my father. He was willing to give me some more details regarding the plan. Here's what he said. The point is to keep our student prodigy safe, to keep them as our hope for the future. Only their genius can overcome disaster. Only their hope can overcome despair. Not even an exaggeration to call this our final hope. I hope that you'll be willing to go along with this plan. He made a selfish decision without consulting anyone else. What was it doing in this locker? must have been looking for something that would prove me wrong about this whole thing. But when I reached the last page, the question mark came into my mind and just started spinning that much faster. It was messy, disorganized, and scrawled. Despair walks among us, and so we survived. There is a second despair. Is that it? Yep, that's it. They had to belong to previous students, right? Why am I seeing this? Nothing that could be a clue. Okay, well that's all. Yeah. Well then. Is that everything on this floor? I think so. Okay then. What else did I need to look at? So, on the 4th floor, there's the Monokuma door and the headmaster's room. Okay.
Makoto?
You here to look around too? Can't help but wonder about the door.
But
Couldn't bring myself to open it. It might explode, right? I don't want to explode. Okay, go ahead. There was no explosion. This place is totally sci-fi.
what the heck? Just a second.
This place is like #1 gross. It's in a whole different league of creepy. What is this device? Some kind of control panel. Like some kind of military installation or something. Looks like a mech cockpit, right? Yufumi'd probably freak out if he saw it.
Okay.
Let's start poking at it or whatever. I'm gonna start pushing buttons. Did you hear that? It came from the other room. I think it was the one that says data center. I'll just cheer you on from over here. Okay then. Monakuma's not saying anything, but... hey! Krar! Give me all your donuts! Oh, is that Aoi speaking?
What?
Ah man, busted. How did you know? What is this? Some kind of remote control camera kind of setup? You don't even know what you're controlling? Can't really see anything from in here. Guess what I found? A self-destruct button. Don't push it. Aw man. Were you seriously gonna push it? So you can control Monokuma from inside this room, apparently? What you were controlling just now, it was Monokuma. That panel definitely controls Monokuma. Mastermind has been controlling them from this room.
Hey.
But
But if that's true, somebody would have had to control Monokuma when all of us are in the same place, though, right? Yeah, it just seems weird because there were times when all of us were together and Monokuma would come out and say stuff. What about you? Is everything okay? This is where the mastermind's been hiding, right? Who knows if they set up traps or something. Like, you want to leave soon? There's still other places to check out. Okay. Is that all? Oh, there's this to check out as well. Okay then. As soon as the door was closed, I heard a strange sound. The door locked on its own. Wow. The data center is now restricted.
just a second.
Hey,
It's for your benefit. If that room stays open, I won't be able to move around.
Yep.
That's where my controls are.
Yes, indeed.
Correctamundo.
Liar.
Oh, you didn't, did you? Are you sure you were as thorough as you could have been? See, I wanted to check the thing on the ground. Come on, Aoi. I wanted to check that. And you blew it. Of course, that hatch can't be opened from the outside anyway, so whatever. No more investigating. I'll be relying on you guys to kill the others. Peace. Was he telling us the truth? Mastermind was hiding in there?
Huh?
That hatch couldn't be opened from the outside anyway, so it's not your fault.
Sorry.
You have to stay positive and make the most of the time we have left.
Okay.
Nice.
You got it.
Well, I've been streaming for 3 hours. I think I'm gonna stop for today. Yeah. Continue later. Thanks for watching and stopping by for anyone who is watching. And yeah. With that, I think that's all for today's stream.